So we want you to eventually feel good enough to come out and talk about this, and you know, nobody else gets hurt. And I really appreciate your patience, and it is taking longer than we had anticipated to get people out.
Well, ESL's a big, even this building is a big building. There's a lot of twists and turns in it, and a lot of cipher lock doors, and a lot of, you know, multiple doors in the same room type things. And
yeah, that was the problem with it. That's what's one of the things that's causing us to take so long, is those damn cipher locks, and people won't open them from the inside, you know?
Yeah.
They're nervous, and we're nervous, and they're trying to do it without scaring you, breaking doors down, or anything like that. So we want, you know, let you know what's happening at all times, so you feel, you know, comfortable.
Well, did you go up on the second floor yet and check that out? The two hallways I gave you?
No, I told you we would not do that unless we told you we were going to be doing
that. Okay. Because I'd hoped you guys had, I mean, if anybody's laying there wounded or something like that, and I don't know.
At 3 o'clock in the afternoon on February 16th, 1988, Farley shot through the glass doors of ESL. Armed with 98 pounds of weaponry, including an assault rifle, 4 handguns, and 1,100 rounds of ammunition, Farley walked through hallways shooting at everything that moved. Within 30 minutes, he'd killed 7, injured 2, and had committed one of the worst massacres in California's history.
I started out the door, and there were people standing out there, and they said, "No, get back in the building, there's shooting in M5. And of course you could hear it, and it just seemed to go on, and it was a nightmare. The older employees seemed to know who it was and why.
You're saying the people who worked in that building knew it was Richard Farley and knew what it was about?
Yes.
It was my decision to get a restraining order, and I knew that, you know, very likely that would trigger him. I had no idea that he would take it out on more than just me.
Farley later told police he did it to show people at ESL who'd laughed at him that he wasn't a wimp. But one of his first victims was someone he didn't even know, 23-year-old Buddy Williams.
Buddy had his whole life ahead of him. You know, he was married. They were looking forward to children very soon. He was a brand new employee just going to San Jose State.
43-year-old Joseph Silva was the last of Farley's 7 victims.
He was running and was shot in the back by Farley. He tried to get up from the floor, and as he was trying to get up, Farley walked up behind him and point blank, he shot him again, and just wanted to make sure that he finished the job that he started. He wanted to make sure that he killed him.
After indiscriminately killing people in the hallways, Farley made sure he found Laura Black's office and shot her before she managed to close her office door.
I could feel my lungs starting to fill up with blood.
She knew if she stayed in the office, she would bleed to death. Then, in the silence of the building where dozens of people were hiding, she heard Farley again.
It so happened that he was in the office next to me on the telephone, talking with the police. And so I knew that the office I had 2 exits, and his only had 1, just because I knew the building well enough. And so I figured that was my chance to escape.
As Laura managed to drag herself outside, this is what Farley told police on the phone.
I just wanted to stop hanging up on me and stop trying to treat me like she wasn't going to get away with it. I wasn't going to let her get away with it.
But Laura was the only one Farley showed any remorse over.
Is she okay?
I don't know that yet. There's a lot of people have been taken to the hospital, as you know.
Yeah, well, I hope she lives. I hope she's okay, and I hope she never does this to anybody else again.
After 5.5 hours, Farley surrendered. He was eventually convicted of 7 counts of first-degree murder. Today, he is on death row at San Quentin.
He's a hideous human being who was on a power trip. It had nothing to do with unrequited love. It was all about power, all about control, and he set himself above everyone else in society, and he should pay the ultimate price.
Incredibly, the relatives of those who died still focus some of their anger at Laura.
Do you feel sorry for Laura Black?
No. As a woman, I cannot envision tolerating unwanted attention for 4 years.
If it had been against the law to do that, then I would have taken action. But it wasn't at the time.
But today, because of Laura's ordeal, stalking is a crime in California. And whether or not your state has a stalking law, she has some advice for victims.
I think that they need to be encouraged to take action if, in fact, they're being stalked. Because if they don't, I mean, it can escalate and it can feed on itself. And I think that's what happened in my case.